Hey there again. I am sorry, I just now saw that the audio of the second video was completely fucked up. I took it down now, and now I'm recording this new part to explain the stuff we did last video. It was kind of a long video, so we'll keep the code I wrote and I'll just explain it to you. So we left off last time after we created our fields, width, height, and fields. And the next part now is to visualize it. Actually, we also wrote a field object for our map. So basically what we do is in this line here, I will zoom a little bit in for you. Well, you saw the videos now. In this line, you can see that we, instead of the 0, we put in a field object. And this field object gets the parameters row and field. Row and fields is actually the column number here. So we could also name this for call, so like this. And then we wrote a class method for that one, which looks like this. So as you can see, we have a class field. We initialize this class as we know it, with self, row, and column as parameters. Self as always to make a pointer to the own class. And row we get from over here. So basically for this first field we create, this is 0, 0, and it goes up until, in this case, 29, 9. And then we set these as attributes because we will need them a lot. So we take them as attributes, self.row, self.column, and self.height, which is then random. We take the module random to make a random integer, which is between 0 and 9. It doesn't really matter at the moment how high the field is. But we can already see now that how this works. So let's just take this one out and then you will see how beautiful our field is like this. Let's make it a little bit smaller for demonstration purposes. 5.3. And now we start map.python. So this is because we defined a string method. This is a magic method in Python. This is called like this because they're like built-in methods which are very restricted in what they do. In this case, this method is always called if you put print around a field. So always if you say print a field object, it will actually give you this. If you don't set a print method, you will usually get something out like this. So this is if you don't set a print method. But if you set one, usually you will get. Now we will get a beautiful string which shows a small parenthesis on the first place. We get the row, and on the second one we get column. And this is called string formatting because we use this function .format to put in the first placeholder the first one we put here, and in the second one the second one. And the beautiful thing about this is it's much easier to write, and it's much more beautiful than to do it like this shit. Like here, I can't monetize now. Like I care about that. Yeah, so you see what I mean. This is very chaotic and it doesn't help at all. Yeah, so that's cool. We write this string method and now you can see our output. So instead of the zeros we got before, we now get 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 4, and 1, 2, 1, 0, 2, 0, 1, 1, 2, 1, and so on and so on. So this is great now. This is perfect. But now we are here for a graphical interface, right? So we'll do this in this video already, especially because I already wrote it because I did it last video, but the audio was fucked up. So we will now create a new object called interface from the class interface. You see we import this one, so we will write a new script for that one. So this is our class interface. You see we already wrote a lot of stuff here, but you will see that it's mostly a repetition actually. We could actually be, yeah, we could actually, let's just comment this stuff out for the moment, because we don't really need it, because at the moment we're just interested in map generation. This will be the first part of this video series, just the map generation, and this is all stuff you will only need for you will only need that for if you try to create a game like I do, a small simulation. So basically, what do? We use tkinter to create a graphical interface. This is a built-in package in Python, which is great. So we made from tkinter import star, which means we just import everything from tkinter. Well, not everything. There are some packages, for example, ttk, which aren't imported automatically. You would need to import them like this to also get the ttk packages. ttk has a lot of cool labels, which you can, more cool graphical widgets you can use. Stuff like combo boxes, which you maybe know, which is like an entry box, but you have a small drop-down menu you can choose from. You have labeled frames, stuff like that. It's great. So basically what we did here in the initializing method, because we just start the same way, we create the class interface, we inherit from nothing, we define an init method, and we pass the parameter game, because we will sometimes need some information from this object. So we pass this object as a parameter, our map, to be able to get stuff from it. You will see when we need it. We create an attribute for that, because we'll need it more often. And you see how we pass the attribute, by the way. We pass it like this. We say interface is interface from self. We pass this object itself by putting self in here. Maybe this is now getting more clear by doing that. By the way, why am I not seeing underscores anymore? What is this witchery? This is weird. This is really weird. I don't know what happened. I can see them. Wait. Oh, okay. If I zoom out, it's they're back. Okay, they're back again. Nice. Yeah. So you see here now we have the underscores. Everything fine. As another attribute, we set the field size already, because we'll need that. How big should be one field on your screen? I put it on 12 pixels. You can decide for yourself. Maybe you find a way to make it depending on the screen size the user uses. I'm sure there are modules to do that. Probably OS will probably be able to do that. But honestly, I only code this on my laptop, so I just put a number 12. And because we will put in scroll bars later, it's not really that important how big the screen of the person is that uses it. So the most important part about tkinter is we create a tk object, and we call it root. Actually, we call it self.root, because we will need to access it from other methods. Then we call it self.root.title. We put a little title for our window that gets created here. And then we say self.createGameMapFrame. Because our game is going to consist out of different frames, one of these frames will have the map as content, if you remember last video when I showed the game. So basically, we will only create this frame for the moment, but the other frames are already set. I wrote these methods in the last video. And in the end, we draw a map. And then we put main loop, which basically says, now start the graphical application. And everything that comes after the main loop is not going to be executed at all. So basically, what are we doing? Create game map frame. We say self.gameWindow, that's the name of the frame, is a canvas, because it's actually not a frame, sorry. Yeah, it's actually canvas, because we want to paint on it, so we make it a canvas. And we call it self.root. We give it a width of 1500 and height 800. That's fine. That's like this. We will see it afterwards. And we put it on the position 0, 0 on our grid. Basically, tkinter has different methods to organize your layout. One of those is pack. Pack means pack is only usable if you have a very simple layout. So basically, pack is, you can say pack just everything one under the other or from left to right. That's going well with pack. But as soon as you want to do something more complicated, you will need to use grid. If we wanted to use pack, we would just do it like this, but the parameters are others. So we say .grid, and this tells it, look to your parent self.root. And in the grid of root, put this one on in row 0, column 0. At the moment, root is empty, so basically we could even leave this empty, it would be on the same position. But I like to have this just for being clear about the position. You can see the other frames already. The description frame is in column 1, so it's going to be over here. The news frame is going to be in row 1, that's going to be over here. And finally, the date frame is going to be over down here, which will show our counter and how far the game has already progressed. Obviously, if you create something else with your app than I do, you will probably not need the same frames like I do. So just feel free to do this completely in another way than I did it. And finally, the most important one, draw the map. So draw the map, we take as the size, we take self.field size, just made this shorter, just makes it more easy to use afterwards in this method here, in this function. So, and then we say for y row in enumerate self.game fields. Why do we need enumerate here? Do you remember what enumerate does? Enumerate is this. We have a list. This list is basic, for example, these 5 elements. And we say enumerate list 1. What's going to be the output? Well, it's actually, yeah. So it created a tuple instead of just the elements of the list. And always the first element in the tuple is the position. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it just counts down. That's great. Well, enumerate does what enumerate says. You can enumerate stuff with it. And we do that here. We say enumerate with y and then take each row out of self.game.fields. You see it now where we need it. So we access this object from over at map.python. And then we say for x column in enumerate row. So we take now the row, which is a list still, because this one basically, oh, not this line, no. This line basically gives us back for always the number, which row, the number of the row, and then it gives us back a big list with all the field objects. So this is a field, this is a field, this is a field. So, and we get this tuple. And now in this one, we open this one and we say, yeah, now we just get x, which is again the enumeration, and column, which is actually the field object, which is in this list row. And now when we get to self.game.window, which is again disappeared because so I don't know what's up with the zoom. Self.gamewindow.create. You see the game window from up here. We use that one again. We can access it because we're inside a class and we use self. And then we create rectangle, which is a function of a canvas. All canvas classes can use this function. Create a rectangle. And now this is a little bit more complicated. We have 4 different positions on which this rectangle, which define where the rectangle appears. So the first position is x times the size. I forgot to open a draw window. Let's hope I can open it. My laptop is really slow today for some reason. I don't know why. So I just want to show you what these coordinates mean. So the first one, you imagine again, we have this coordinate system. Again, my beautiful drawing skills, by the way. So y and x. And now we have a rectangle here, or rather we want to create a rectangle. So we have to define where these positions are. How do we define them? We need 4 points actually. And the first one is on x times the size. Why x and the size? Because this is actually y to make a bigger difference. This is x. So basically, if this is for example, this has the coordinates 1, 1. We have a field next to it, which is 0. Can I write 0, 1, right? And this field has a width of our field size, for example, 12. So this one should start, this side of the rectangle should be on x times the field size, right? Because we want it to start over here. This is the first parameter for the rectangle. The second one is y times the size. And this is actually just this one, because up here is also another rectangle, which is 1, 0. And this also has a size of 12. Oops. Okay. Just, this is not readable, but fine. And so this one is the second parameter from over here. And then we have the third one, which is now x plus 1 times the size, which makes sense because we want just one length more. So now we have, again, a length of 12. And so the second one, yeah, actually it's in this direction. So the second one is x, which goes down here. So from here, this is the second. So this is the third parameter. And finally, the fourth one is from over here, the same, which tells us the last we needed. So this is the fourth one, which is y, because it's y times the size, which is 1 over here, plus 1. So this is at 24. If you look at the pixel positions, this would be 24, 24, which is exactly 1 plus 1, 2 times 12 is 24. And the other parameter as well, 1 plus 1 times 2 times 12 is 24. So this creates us beautiful rectangles. Let's see them. I can make this a little bit bigger, I guess. Let's put in the last values from last time, 30, 10. And let's do this again. Great. Beautiful. So this is how it looks now. Yeah, it's a goodie because I fucked up the last video. Let's do something new. Let's create some colors on this field. So colors on this field, we're doing like this. We have a parameter for rectangle, which is called fill. And you can put any color you like here. So for example, we say fill blue. There are some colors which have a name assigned to them. So for example, you can see fill blue works very well. But other values, by the way, let me turn off the print over here because we really don't need that. Bye-bye. Or rather, let's keep it for the moment. Maybe we need it later again. So let's just stop it for now. And so blue. And now for a little fun, we will put a random color for every field we create. A random color we can create we import random first. We will need that every time we create something random, I guess. Then we say we want a random, well, maybe you need to know how colors are actually created. So there's basically, for colors, you have three different fields for colors. And each of them stores a value between 0 and 256 actually. Sorry, the 0 counts as well. But the thing is, this 265 is not simply put in the number you have here between 0 and 255 is not simply written like that, but instead it's converted to a hex. And how it's done, I will show to you. So first we get a random.randint, and that's going to be 2 to 255. And we will use a neat little trick here. So because we need this 3 times, so we could either just write 3 lines like this, or we do R1, R2, R3, Or we could do it the cool way, which is just using a lambda function, which says, we say lambda x. So let's see if that works. I'm not actually sure. This is, a lot of people always ask me what at university what's lambda functions, so it's kind of neat to learn about them. It's not that. Yeah, I actually did that wrong. And I did that wrong. I think it's just working like this. Yeah, it's working. Okay, so the lambda function says we create an anonymous function over here. We just store this function, what it does, in R. And if we call R now, we get the result of this, what we do in here. So you will see, we can, it's just neat, it's just very elegant programming. Not really necessary if you don't want to do it, but it's very, it's pretty beautiful. And now we say we want a color. So basically we say color is, and we make it a string here. And this time we're going to use another string formatting method than last time, because this string formatting method has the big advantage that it automatically transforms our integers, from which we create with this function, into the hex numbers we need. So we start with the hashtag. This is usual just for colors. And then we put in 0 to x, percentage actually first, percentage 0 to x, percentage 0 to x, percentage 0 to x. And then we say percentage, this is another method for formatting, and we say 0 r r r. Yeah, this is the pirate method. This is basically a pirate string now, because it's r r r. Yeah, and if you do that, now this part corresponds to this function and will be replaced by the hex value of this. The same happens with this one and the last one. So if you want to see how this looks afterwards, you can just do this, print color. So yeah, and now you can see how these look. So these got transformed into their hex values, 5F, CB, C1. So great. And now we assign these colors to our rectangles, and we say fill is not blue, but it's color. And let's see how beautiful it looks. Let's make this a little bit bigger in our function. Let's create a bigger field in map.python. Let's take it 100 times bigger. Well, as I said, my PC is pretty slow today, and it seems like the random color creation takes some power. Yeah, so as you can see, we have a beautiful, beautiful field now with all our colors. And if you want to delete the outline, because we're going to do that anyway next time, because we try to make our own colors in there. Yeah, I wrote it up there if in case I forget it. You can laugh about me. And finally, outline is nothing. If you do that, and I will make it a little bit slicker to a little bit smaller to increase our loading time again. And now you see the outlines have disappeared. And in most cases you will want that, but maybe in some cases you don't. So just decide for yourself as whichever you like. Great. So that's it for now. Sorry about the fucked up. Sorry, I'm using the F word too much. Yeah. Sorry about the video that I put out last. That was my mistake, and I hope it's going better from now on.